Let's talk about something that sounds really simple, but actually it is really hard to do. And that is communicating with clarity. I still struggle with this in my own life. I've spent almost 20 years as a trainer, as a public speaker. I've had to learn how to send a lot of messages. And one of the consistent pieces of feedback that I still get, in fact, I'm nervous that I've done it in this course, is that I've communicated too much. And here's why. Our brains, neuroscientists say that our brains are wired for addition. It's always looking for one more thing, one more thing. And so in my own presentations, in my own life, I would craft a message and I would think to myself, oh, it just needs one more thing. We need to add one more data point. We need to pull in one more example or one more study, or maybe if I just add this one more thing, then they'll get the full value of what I'm trying to deliver. And I don't think that's any different when we set ourselves up to propose an idea, or maybe we're trying to, get other people to buy into something. I think we have this belief that if we just add just a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, then our message will stick. But actually, the opposite is true. Even though our brains are wired for addition, I want to ask you this question. How many of you have ever been to a conference and you left thinking, wow, that was a super memorable speaker? Was the speaker memorable because they rattled off 20 different ideas in 20 minutes? Or was the speaker memorable because they had one or two very key points? They went deep on those points. They expanded on those points, and you had a clear action of what you were supposed to do. My hunch is that it's the latter. In fact, if you are in an organization today, I'm sure people come to you with ideas all of the time. And sometimes you don't even know what to do with that idea or what to do with the communication because you're so overwhelmed with the sheer amount of information. And so I want to challenge you today that communicating with clarity is not about adding anything else in. Communicating with clarity is going to be a very rigorous path for subtraction. And so as we think about combining all of our message and communicating for clarity, I want you just to ask yourself a few questions. And question number one, what is the one thing that I want to get across to this person? Perhaps just that one thing is, if nothing else happens, I need to get an increase in my budget. If nothing else happens, I need to get an extra headcount added to my staff. If nothing else happens, I want to ask for a different role, or perhaps, something different for my salary. If nothing else happens, I want my child to clean the living room before company comes. I want you to think about the one thing. Then I want you to ask yourself, what are all of the things that perhaps maybe I wanted to cram into this message that could be distracting from that? That could be an example, an anecdote, irrelevant data, maybe what competitors are doing or what was done last year. I want you to really go through with a lens of what could be distracting, what could be creating friction, and how do I remove those two things? And so as you think about communicating with clarity, I want you to think about the process of subtraction. Our calendars are busy. Email boxes and inboxes are full. People aren't always thinking about you. And so sometimes they have just 1 or 2 minutes to consider your idea. And so the process of subtraction and really asking yourself, what is it that I want this person to do or take action on? What is the clear ask? It becomes really important to reduce the noise and reduce the friction so you can communicate with clarity.